Thanks for the support as a channel member, Paul Wayne. Well, that has been a very up and down season. We go into administration, we look like we're going to bottle the title, but everything turns out all right in the end. We're even within our wage budget for the first time since we've had a wage budget. The only way is up from here, boys and girls. A transfer special, and we're heading into Tier 8. Hello and welcome to part 13 of Bourne in the USA. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review and transfer special off the back of our promotion season. And as ever, we are kicking things off with the season review. Confirmation here, Bourne Football Club USA did win the Atlantic League in this season just gone. We've now won back-to-back promotions, back-to-back league titles, back-to-back world champions. We are in America after all. We haven't yet won a cup competition though, and that's a wrong I'd like to right in this coming season if we can. I don't know how much longer we're going to be in the US FA Vars for. I feel like we should be a bit more competitive in it than we have been. I'm looking at the new arrivals from the season just gone. Obviously, huge churn in the squad because they're all on non-contract, or some of them are still even on amateur contracts. So players can come and go as they please, as we saw in the end of yesterday's episode with Prince Fletcher, who'd been our hero for 2 years, leaving us the day before we were presented with the Atlantic League trophy. That was a blow. In a positive, I guess, Alejandro Tapia won signing of the season. He's a striker. He might be next season's striker. He only actually started 4 games, which does raise a few questions over my transfer policy, but he scored 8 goals, 3 assists, average of 7.04. I personally probably would have given it to Toby Nice or maybe Kotljarov in goal. There's players here who played a lot of games. Briones was fantastic, 12 goals and 11 assists. How he's only averaged a 6.88, I don't know, because he was a phenomenon from midfield. But no, apparently Alejandro Tapia, best player that came in last year. I don't understand. The season itself, we were supposed to finish top half. We won promotion as champions, which rightly gives us an A+ from Goran Pavlov and his dodgy board that we don't question the financial decisions of. It says Valdez is top scorer, but of course Prince Fletcher was top scorer with over 40 goals, but I guess it doesn't count because he walked away from us at the end of the season there. We don't need to worry too much about this page. The financials were an absolute mess. We ended up £750,000 in debt, entered into a company voluntary arrangement, went into administration, and somehow I've got ourselves roughly back to zero again, money-wise. This is one of the reasons why we have such a problem. Now, our revenue is next to nothing. We've made $6,000 in sponsorship, no broadcast money at all down in Tier 9. Corporate and hospitality is less than £1,000. £75 of prize money for finishing champions of the Atlantic League, and only £16,000 generated in match day commercial and retail. I don't think that includes gate receipts, which is a weird thing to be missing from here. If it does, that's even more terrifying because that covers about 2 months' wages. And I know when we looked at it in the last episode, when we were coming out of administration, I know that our income as a club does cover our wage budget 3 times over. So I think the one thing missing from here is gate receipts, which is, like I say, a strange thing to have missing from the annual revenue page. Certainly at this level, that's going to be our biggest revenue source. We did sell 50 shirts, though. Huyan selling more shirts than anybody. I suspect Fletcher probably actually sold more shirts than anybody, because to not have Fletcher in the top 5 seems a little bit odd, although Hernandez left earlier in the year, so maybe Fletcher just wasn't selling shirts. Perhaps the fans didn't like him. Oh, only scored 40 goals. What have you done for me lately? This is our team of the year. Kotljarov in goal. A back 4 of Kakaburas, who's now left. Brook, Nice and Apollon. Luter, Briones and Bates in midfield. Williams and Valdez out wide. And then Fletcher, who of course has also now left up front. And there's your confirmation that Fletcher... In fact, it doesn't have your confirmation that Fletcher scored all his goals because he's gone. But it was something around the 40-something goal mark. Awards-wise, Fans Player of the Year is Francisco Valdez. He also won Young Player of the Year. Signing of the season is Tapia. This is all very odd. Goal of the season went to Valdez. He was also top scorer with a big asterisk next to his name. Sam Williams, most assists, despite missing a lot of the season with injury, or maybe a third of the season with injury. Valdez, most man of the match. Highest rating is also Valdez. And Josh Bates got best pass completion. We didn't win any of the competition awards, but we have broken some of our club records. And this is where Prince Fletcher actually gets the credit he deserves. He's scored our most goals in a season, 48 goals in all competitions in the season. I suspect that's a record that will never be broken. He also had a game where he scored 5 goals. He also had a game where he scored 4 goals and a couple of hat-tricks. When Prince Fletcher had a good game, he had a very good game. Most goals in a league match at 5 is, again, a record. These records aren't going to be broken. Prince Fletcher will be in the history books forever, I think. Kotylyarov, most clean sheets in the season at 19. Most man of the matches for Fletcher at 18. Valdez got the fastest goal in the history of the club. And Alan Chagoya is our youngest ever goal scorer at 16 years and 99 days. And there is your confirmation that once again, another trophy in the trophy cabinet. And this is our all-time best 11. So interesting to see after 2 seasons how the game thinks our 2 sides mesh together. So Diallo in goal for the all-time best 11, who is now living in Seacoast United and playing for the Mariners, where he seems to have settled in nicely, played half a season for them. We've then got Kakaburas, who left us to go to Jaguars United FC in the Eastern League. So he's dropped back down a level, it's a weird one. It must just be nearer his house. Vargas, who went to the New Hampshire Bobcats, again, dropping back down to the Eastern League. And then Daniel Jones, who is at Jacksonville in the US League 2. So he's all the way. US League 2 is tier 4. So Daniel Jones making a huge step up. And he's actually available for loan. So that's an interesting one, maybe for this coming season. I don't know if we can secure loans, but if we can get Daniel Jones back, a player who is considered Football League quality, that'd be nice. Timo Moore is now at Greater Lowell United and is under offer. So he might be on the move again. He's in the Mountain National League playing for them lot. And he's currently under offer from the New Hampshire Bobcats, who seem to come up a lot. Old man Atencio, apparently didn't end up as a coach with us. We tried to get him in. It says down there he came in. It just glitched and he never came in, no. And he is now the manager of Real Medina USA in the Southern California League. I'm sure we will meet up with old man Atencio again at some point. As soon as he gets sacked, we need to offer him a job. He's considerably older than me, though, because he's old man Atencio, but good to see him working. Briones is the first one so far who's actually still part of our team. Sam Williams is out there as well. And then you've got Mario Hernandez, who's also living in Seacoast United. He's playing for the Phantoms. Are we familiar with the Seacoast United Phantoms? Are they one of the 2? They probably are, unless there's a third team in Seacoast United. And then Kevin Smith, not that one, playing again for the New Hampshire Bobcats down in the Eastern League. What a contrast his 2 seasons have had. I mean, I wonder if he might be someone worth bringing back to replace Prince Fletcher, just because we know what he's capable of when he's playing for us, and you lot love the meme. And then Prince Fletcher is off at the Tacoma Stars in the US National League Division 2. He's not yet played a game for them. Season review we've just done. We don't need to worry about any of these silly old graphs. This is what Goran's looking for us for next year. So we're entering Tier 8, the US lower leagues. He's expecting a top half finish next year and for me to work towards repairing the club's financial damage. I mean, Goran, you caused that. You caused every bit of that, but I'll do my best. And then the following season, the top priority is repair the club's financial damage. We're in a company voluntary arrangement for the next 15 years. And he basically wants us to establish ourselves in Tier 8. We can do better than that, Goran. And he has finally now added the requirement to work within the wage budget, which wasn't on there before, which is why I got away with spending $2,000 a week on wages on a 600 budget, because he was never going to sack me for it. Now we actually probably are going to have to follow the wage budget this year, which is much sadness. Cliff Apollon is the only player who's got any kind of influence in the squad, because obviously he's had a whole YouTube series made about him previously. And we're not going to worry too much about what this says at this stage, because where are we? The 12th of June, the season will start again in August. I imagine almost everybody on that team will have left by then, and it'll be a completely fresh bunch of players because none of them are under contract. They can just leave whenever they want. I'll just confirm whatever recommendation we've got for captain on there at the moment. But yeah, I'm not going to dwell too much on who's here and all that kind of stuff, because like I say, they're all going to go. So I think we probably just need to sit and wait and see what kind of players present themselves when their contracts expire. We'll obviously make some moves. If anyone really good comes up on the scout reports, we'll look to bring players in. What we don't really have any control over is who leaves and when they leave. So we're just going to have to kind of take that as it comes. We have made it through to the 1st of July, boys and girls. There have been a couple of transfers, nothing in, but one out. Alexandru Luta has gone to Boston City in the Atlantic National League, wanting to stay at the level we were just in. We're going to start making some moves now, hopefully. We've got a little bit of wage budget to play with. We were just waiting for some youth players to be released, so I knew exactly how much wage budget we had to play with. It's not a lot. Probably only 3 or 4 players can come in unless more leave, and you can see that straight away there's potentially 2 leaving right there. Briones is under offer from a couple of different clubs, and that'd be a big blow if we lost him, because he is one of our better players. Not actually our best player, which I thought he would be, but he's one of our better players. Only 2 stars, apparently. That's how good Hu Yan is. He's forcing everybody's rating down. That is mad, especially because Valdez got Player of the Year, top goal scorer, and all that kind of stuff from the same position. And we've had our new league confirmed as well. We're going to be playing in the Central Premier League this year. If we have a look at the league structure, there's 4 potential leagues we could have gone in at this level: the Northern Premier League, the Central Premier League, the Southern Premier League, and the Western Premier League. So we're going to be Central Premier League. It looks like the big competition for us this year is going to be the Charlotte FC Academy. They have the entire, in fact, apart from the goalkeeper, they have the entire Media Dream 11 subsidiary of Charlotte FC, who are, I think they're in the Championship. So Charlotte FC, they're down to League One, actually. I'm sure they were in the Championship. Maybe they weren't. Maybe there's lots of Charlotte football teams. So they're both in League One. I thought they were both in the Championship. Fair enough. They're not. I thought we had both Atlanta United sides there. We're in Atlanta United 2 are in the Championship and obviously can't get promoted from that now. But yeah, we're in the Central Premier League, which is tier 8. So above this, we then go into, this is the last of the regionalised structures. So after this, we go into the National League Division 2. And then from there, it's National League Division 1, National Premier League. And then we're into the United States League 2, the equivalent of what would be the Football League, which, as you can see, is absolutely chock full of the academy sides of MLS teams, even though it's not the MLS anymore. But the MLS teams you'll be familiar with from real life are then scattered within this Football League structure. So it does make me wonder if we're in a league like, hold on, we're going the wrong way. When we get to a league like this one, that's absolutely full of academies, I guess what I was thinking is we might be able to get promoted by finishing in 9th place. But actually, that will only happen if by the time we get to the Championship, there's loads of academy sides. I mean, looking at this, we've got LA Galaxy 2 and Atlanta United 2. So potentially we could be in a situation where they finished 1st and 2nd, we finished 3rd, but went up automatically, I think. I don't actually know how that works. I've never managed in a league where that's a thing. But it does mean we've got a lot of work to do. We have our work cut out to get automatic promotion this year. It's 1 team goes up automatically and then 2 go into the playoffs. So it's another league that's more difficult to get out of. We are considered 3rd favourites by the media, thanks in large part to a big reputation boost we got this summer. I'm not really sure why we got it. Goran Pavlov's fame, obviously, pushing us forward. I don't think it's that. But we do need to definitely bring in some players. And that job starts now. We're nearly a week into July and only 3 weeks before the season starts. And we are having this problem happen over and over and over again. You might remember Mario Hernandez. He was with us last year. He left to go to the Seacoast United Phantoms. He was released by them. He was available on free transfer. He's been in with us on trial. And we offered him a contract and he's gone somewhere else. And he is one of about 8 players who we've offered contracts to and they've gone elsewhere. As you can see, we've had a lot of trials rejected as well. But there's also other contracts and players that have actually come in. We've got players on the way out. We are now able to offer part-time contracts. So we're offering a few of those, but want to be sparing with how we use those because we want to be careful over here. But bottom line, 3 weeks until the season starts, we haven't signed a single player yet. We have no money and no reputation. This is hard. This might be the hardest transfer window I've ever tried to do. We've finally managed to sign a player. He's a pretty good one as well. Pedro Goncalves is the first player to ever sign for us on a proper contract, on a 1-year contract at £50 per week. He's an 18-year-old centre-back who can also play in midfield. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He's previously of Mass United, Portland Phoenix, and Boston. This kid's only 18 years old, and he's about to play his, well, I guess it's his third season of football because he moved mid-season that time. 2 years in the Northern Premier League, or a year and a half in the Northern Premier League, 6 months now in the Central Premier League, and we've got him on an actual contract. So we know he's actually in for a year. And we are starting to get a couple more of our players, a couple of the key players tied up on actual contracts. You can see Huyan has a contract for a year. Ben Logan has a contract for a year. Garlic does. Briones does. Obviously, the youth players do from before as well. Tapia, signing of the year last year. We need a striker. We've got him tied down to a deal. He's only a 1.5-star player, though. So we're still comfortably within budgets. But we are getting close to maxing that out, and we've only signed one player. I don't know why he needs an intensive language course. He speaks fluent English. What language are we sending him away to learn? We'll send him on the course regardless. Maybe they need to learn to understand my English rather than their American English, so they're being sent off to learn to understand me. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, we've finally signed a player. More trials that we couldn't sign permanently leaving. Hopefully it doesn't take us another 9 days to bring in the next one. The start of the season approaches, and the squad depth is looking, not very deep. Well, I've looked back to the past and made a bit of a mistake, I think. Kieran Vargas is back at the club. He was with us in our Eastern League promotion season, went to play for the New Hampshire Bobcats in the Eastern League last year. We've brought him in on an actual £65 a week, 1-year contract, earning more than Goncalves, who we were just looking at. And he's a 1-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability player. Terrifyingly, the fans are pleased to sign a player of this caliber. I think star ratings are just going to be completely off because of Huyan, who is just far too good for us, and I don't really know how we signed him. So take it with a pinch of salt. If we look at the squad depth, Vargas is the 7th choice. We're paying £65 a week for him. Don't sign players based on the all-time best 11, Kev. It looks like my director of football is bringing someone into the under 23s, though. Please let this guy be good. I've had nothing to do with this signing. That's better than what I just did. Sugar plums. How much is he paying him, though? Jonathan! Right, I've redeemed myself a little bit with this guy. Simon Torres is a 24-year-old left winger, 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. He's only in on a non-contract. I might need to up him to a real contract. ASAP, really. He's previously of Portland Phoenix and actual Seacoast United. So in addition to the Phantoms and the whatever the other ones are, there is an actual Seacoast United soccer club. There's 3 teams in the city of Seacoast United, it seems. And Simon Torres is in, and we probably need to bump him up to a real contract just as soon as he'll sign one. He won't sign one straight away. But I think I made the offer for him back on the 1st of July when I hadn't decided to do part-time contracts yet. When I hadn't been let down by about 4 deals and thought, right, we just got to offer proper deals now. Maybe I should have done. What was it? He needs to learn US English. So he can speak English, but he needs to learn English US. Is that what that was saying? I feel like that's a database glitch. I thought I was going to pull off something truly spectacular when Tacoma Stars agreed to let him come on loan to us for the year for nothing. But Prince Fletcher doesn't want to come home. We've managed to squeeze in one more signing before the season starts. Brandon Hernandez returns to the club. He was an excellent player for us back then. He was good. He went to the Seacoast United Phantoms, playing in the Northern Premier League last year, and he didn't play a lot, but he's back in, and he's our 3rd best central midfielder. And he was good for us before, and he's back, and he's on £75 a week. Goodness me, the money we're spending on some of these players. I'm determined never to go back into administration. I'm being so tight this summer with what we're spending, but it has meant, bearing in mind we've just had a promotion, it's probably been the quietest summer I've ever had. And somehow this has happened. How has that happened? I didn't even notice it happen. How has it happened? What is this? Another 151,000 on other. advertising, supplies, and general expenses. If we're spending £150,000 a month advertising to our, let's just double check, to our 82 season ticket holders. Oh, Goran, learn about money. This has been our summer. Luta and Valdez both left. We've brought in Goncalves, who is basically a direct replacement for Luta. Luta was our defensive midfielder last year. Goncalves is a natural defensive midfielder. He's just going to slot straight in, and that is an upgrade. So we've upgraded there. Valdez moving on from the right wing, but he was our backup right winger because of Huyan coming in as our new star man. So we didn't really need a replacement for him. So the other four are all players who are going to come in and, okay, Kieran Vargas isn't going to make a difference. But Craig Stearns, I think, could get some decent game time as a striker. Probably not straight away, but you never know. He's scored goals in the past, 15 goals last season for Safira in the Eastern League. Simon Torres is a left winger, and we definitely needed a left winger, so that's some upgrade there. And bringing Brandon Hernandez back, I think, is a boost for us in midfield. It is not the summer I had in mind when we started out. The registration window is still open for another month, so there'll still be players coming in, I'm sure. But it's not quite the squad depth we would have hoped for going into the new season. But that is where we'll pick things up on Monday with the first couple of games of the new season. Almost certainly some transfers, because we need some transfers coming up on Monday as well. But for now, I will leave you to it. Make sure you watch the Streamer Showdown tonight, 7 p.m. over on Twitch. But other than that, if you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.